Today we're going to be talking about pesticide use in pistachios. You all know who I am, but I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself for those that are on the camera that don't know who I am. I'm Wendy Keith, Quality Assurance Supervisor here at Seton Pistachio. I also hold the QAL, which is the Certified Applicator's License. So I'm over the Pest Management Program here at Seton also. What is organic? What does that mean? Organic is defined by the USDA as food produced using sustainable agricultural production practices. Sustainable agricultural production practices are defined as an integrated system of plants and animal production practices having a site application that will sustain human food, enhance the environment, efficiently use the non-renewable resources, and sustain economic viability. Now, I know that those definitions are hard to understand, and I'm of the opinion that they make those definitions hard to understand so that we don't know exactly what that means. Basically what that means is any place that's growing organic fruit, vegetables, tree nuts, and animals, they don't use regular pesticides and herbicides on that site. In researching this, I found that if you go organic, you will lose 20 to 30% of your crop due to insects because you're not using the pesticides to get rid of them. And I want to put that into a perspective that you guys will understand working here at a pistachio plant. If we went fully organic with all of our growers and all of our crops, we brought in 80 million pounds of pistachios last year. We would stand to lose 16 to 24 million pounds of pistachios in 1 year. Okay? We sell our pistachios for $5 a pound. That means an $80 million loss just in 1 year. And that's perpetuated year after year when you become organic because that loss doesn't stop. How many jobs do you think would be lost if we went to organic? We're talking $80 million. That's a lot of pistachios and a lot of food that we're taking back out of the food chain because we've lost it to insects. The United States Department of Agriculture Economic Research Service put out a publication on organic tree nuts. In this article, organic pistachio production reported a tremendous growth from 2008 to 2011. They grew approximately 50%, a little over 50%. So in 2008, the farm sales was $3.9 million. In 2011, it was $9.3 million is what they sold for organic. In comparison to conventional pistachios, we grew about 50% in sales. But again, those numbers are kind of skewed because organic pistachios, I looked online, the cheapest that I could find organic raw pistachios, the cheapest I could find them was $11.79 a pound. Okay, the cheapest I could find raw conventional pistachios, $5.49 a pound. That's double the price. Because they're losing 20 to 30% of their crop, they have to make up for that loss in what they charge to the consumer. So the consumer is the one that's going to eat the cost that they have for the organic pistachios. Okay. So again, in my opinion, those numbers are skewed because of the price being charged for the organic pistachios. Now, there's also the argument that the pesticides that are used can contaminate the kernel of the pistachio, leave a residual on the pistachio that people will then be eating. Let's look at the structure of a pistachio. Okay? This is what a pistachio looks like fresh off the tree. That yellow and red part is called the hull. It protects the shell and the kernel inside the tree as it's growing. It tries to protect it from insects, but while it's doing that, it's also protecting it from the pesticides and the things that are being sprayed onto those trees. Okay? So this is not the edible part. Okay? So when we harvest them, we bring them into the facility, that part is removed. So if there were the potential to have pesticide contamination, it would be on the hull. it wouldn't be on the shell and it wouldn't be on the kernels. I've been in the pistachio industry for 20 years. Every year we do a pistachio scan on a randomly drawn sample of pistachios that we pull out of our facility. In the 20 years that I've been here, we have never found residual pesticide on any of the pistachios in our facility. Now that's some compelling argument saying the potential to have contamination on that kernel and on that shell that people are going to consume is really slim to none. In closing, it's ultimately the consumer's decision whether they want to go organic or non-organic, but it's also the company's decision. And we need to keep ourselves informed. What is the loss? What is the impact? We are governed by what we do by the state of California, by the Environmental Protective Agency. We have a gap assessment program that's done to ensure that our growers are applying the pesticide at the amounts that they should be applying the pesticide. We keep an eye on that because we are concerned about our consumers. So we want to make sure that the product that we put out onto the consumer is a healthy, safe product. It behooves us to make sure that there is no pesticide residue. Thank you for listening to my speech, and if you guys have any questions, again, thank you very much, gentlemen.